Hi friends, welcome to Think Maths. So in this session, we are going to discuss about the zeros. That is, we have to find the zeros of the polynomial from the given graph. So we already know that we can find zeros from the graph. That is, when the graph intersects at a point in the x-axis, that point gives the zero value for the polynomial. So here there are 6 graphs. Okay. From the first graph, we can see that this graph meets the x-axis at only one point. So for the first one, the number of zeros are 1. So when x is equal to, here the x is minus 1. So when x is equal to minus 1, we get the value of y is equal to 0. Okay. So in the second one, the graph meets the x-axis at 2 points. So these 2 points. So when x is equal to 2 and when x is equal to minus 1, we get the value of y as 0. So in the same way, the next graph, the graph here, the curve meets the x-axis at 3 points. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So when x is equal to, here this is the negative side. When x is equal to minus 1, here the value is in between 0 and 1. That is almost it is 8. That is 0.8. When x is equal to 0.8, the value of y is 0. Here when x is equal to 2, the value of y is 0. So the number of zeros are 3 here. So in the next graph, here the straight line meets the x-axis at only one point. That is when x is equal to 2. When x is equal to 2, y is equal to 0. So the number of zeros are 1. So in this graph, only 1 point. So here, okay. So when x, that is 2 points coincide here. So when x is equal to 1, y is equal to 0. So the number of zeros are 1. In the next graph, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that is when x is equal to almost minus 0.8 and when x is equal to plus 0.8 and when x is equal to 1.2 and when x is equal to 2.2, we get the zeros. So number of zeros are 4. Okay. So now let us write it. So the number of zeros is 1 here. So for the first one, number of zeros are 1. For second one, number of zeros is 2. For third one, number of zeros is 3. And fourth one, number of zeros is 1. And for the fifth one, number of zeros is 1. And for the sixth one, number of zeros is 4. So in the same way, we can see here another example, that is from exercise 2.1. So the graph is given. We have to find the number of zeros. In the first graph, this straight line doesn't meet the x-axis. So there is no 0. The number of zeros is 0. So in the second graph, here this curve meets at 1 point. So the number of zeros is 1. So in this way, 2 point something. Okay. So here the third graph, the graph intersects at 3 points. In the fourth one, the graph intersects at 2 points. In the fifth one, the graph intersects at 1, 2, 3, 4 points. In the sixth one, the graph intersects at 1, 2, 3. Okay, the graph where it intersects the x-axis is the is the 0 value. Okay, so I have written here. So the number of zeros is 0. For the first graph, it is a straight line parallel to x-axis. So it doesn't meet the x-axis. So there are no zeros. So in the second one, it is 1. Third one, it is 3. And fourth one, it is 2. So fifth one, it is 4. And for the sixth one, it is 3. So you can find the value through the graph. That is, when x is equal to, here it is 2 point something. It may be minus 2.5. So it is the intersect when x is equal to minus 2.5, it is the intersection point. In the same way here, it will be around 1.5. So when x is equal to 1.5, we get the value of y is equal to, y is some polynomial. So if you substitute the value from the graph, we get the value of y as 0. So okay friends, can you understand? So that's all for this session. Thank you for watching. So if you like this video, just share, like and subscribe and hit the bell button without forget. Thank you.